A Consumer First alert about a scam targeting music lovers, making sure you don't get played. Tammy, scammers are offering a piano for free.
Yeah, this is a unique one, and the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau says scammers are targeting churches, schools, and music lovers. And there's more than 100 complaints into the Better Business Bureau scam tracker about the free piano scam, saying a person wants to give away their piano because a family member died. Several people report it's a baby grand piano in perfect condition. The catch is that you have to pay the moving fees, almost $2,000, which turns out to be a scam. The BBB says don't be tricked by an emotional story, and often these scammers will only communicate through messages or emails, and they might even provide detailed pictures to make this seem more believable. And they'll pressure you to pay these moving fees quickly and through a direct payment app. And the BBB says there are listings for these free pianos on social media. Some churches are actually getting targeted emails about these free pianos. So you'll want to look this up on the Better Business Bureau scam tracker. Also look up those moving companies, and they say, as we always do, stop and think before you do anything, because in the end here, you're going to pay for a piano that never existed.
And make sure you turn into Tammy's Consumer First alerts as well to get all that advice. We appreciate that. Thank you. Happening